Marta Lopez-Flohr, and I'm the career specialist here at the Cummings Wilson School, and I help students in the arts as well. This is the final installment. Like, can we just get some snaps for that? The final installment for the Tiger Talent Professional Development Series. And when I started this, I realized that I went out of order because I saw that a lot of you had gotten your resumes done, and then you like started applying for jobs right away. And I was like, wait, they're interviewing, but we haven't covered interviewing yet. So I switched up the order. But today we're going to talk about pitching your brand, and whether or not you realize it, you are a brand. You are something that is worth selling, right? You have values and competency that you want to project as you go and you network with the industry, other industry leaders, or for employment, or for associations, whatever. You carry your own brand. So you know how like Nike has Just Do It? You have to figure out like, what is my brand, right? Now, I've paid a lot of money over the years to try to figure out what my brand is, all right? I've gone to different workshops, I've gone to different leadership programs, and my brand evolved over time, all right? If you do not know where your brand is right now as a sophomore or a junior, it's okay. But my goal is to give you enough seeds to plant so that your brand starts to grow more and you start to identify. Right? When you know your brand, you're really proud of it. It's like the swag is there. Like, I have no shame in my game. I know what I'm about. I know what I'm presenting. And you come into any conversation with a confidence. And confidence, like, you can't fake it. It's hard to fake confidence. People know if you're being authentic or not. So that's something to keep in mind as you think about, like, what am I really, really good at? You know, because they'll see right through you. And we had a career cello yesterday at the library, and we had all these recruiters there, and one guy said, like, he was up in front of the room, and he's like, you know, I have to be honest with you, at career fairs, a lot of you look the same because you're all dressed professionally. All of you are handing me a piece of paper, right? Because you're handing me your resumes. You have to think, what makes you stand out from everybody else? And you don't want to stand out in the bad way by like not being professionally dressed, or, you know, being a little bit too audacious in your accessories and stuff like that, right? You want to stand out in a good way. So he goes, the easiest way to do this is by having that confidence. You know, going into the conversation, knowing what you gotta say, being willing to carry a conversation. And so that is really important as you think about, you know, the brand that you're projecting. Like, you can't just get through the elevator pitch and then you're like, okay, now I have nothing else to say. Right? You have to figure out how to keep it going. So I'm going to cover quite a bit of that today, okay? Now for my IHG First Look participants, Shaquille, and I know you've done it before, and Leah, Noah's somewhere, no?
Not here.
Hi Noah, no. They got this on the bus, right? And that's kind of a tough way to deliver this kind of information, so I'm going to slow it down here, and I'm going to get us up and like practicing today. That's part of the goal, just so you know, so I'm really shaking up the way I did it. You're going to learn how to craft an elevator pitch, and I love the guy yesterday because he was just like, you know what, I don't even like calling it an elevator pitch, it's a brand statement. And I was like, I'm going to use that moving forward, because it is, it's a brand statement, not just an elevator pitch. All right, to speak professionally with employers and contacts. You're going to learn some strategies for connecting in person, including how to conduct informational interviews. Informational interviews are where you're taking the lead. So I'm going to unpack that statement more in the presentation. I'm going to make sure you know how to connect your social media with a particular focus on LinkedIn, all right? Because LinkedIn is where it's happening now, okay? And you've heard, I'm sure you've heard Tim Flohr say this, like, less Snapchat, more LinkedIn. That's what you guys need to be doing. If he hasn't said it, it's one of my favorite quotes that he said over. All right? So the same student leadership and professional competencies apply to this presentation, but when you think about brand, like pitching your brand, what are some things that you know you're going to be able to write about right off the bat? self-awareness and personal behavior, right? If your brand is about leadership, right, then yeah, you can write about leadership, civic responsibility.
Teamwork? Yeah, teamwork and collaboration.
If your brand is about teamwork, so you can really incorporate different competencies into your brand, but you're definitely tackling communication and digital technology, especially if we're gonna promote our brand on LinkedIn, on the social media sites, if we're gonna project our elevator pitch or brand statement, right? So those are some of the things that we're gonna tackle, right? I'm gonna go over networking basics, the elevator pitch discussion that I'm gonna lead. We're gonna practice that. I just need to revise all my slides. It should be brand statement practice. Informational interviewing discussion, we're gonna build connections through social media, and I'm gonna make sure that you have time. That's my goal, to give you time in class to get your phones out and write that SLPC reflection while we're here, while it's still all fresh, right? Because what I've noticed is when students go back later, I've been reading what you guys have been writing, and when you take too much time in between the actual presentation and weeks later, the reflection, some of you are missing some of the key points, right? So the better reflections are written like, yeah, this is what I'm about now, okay? So when we talk about professional communication, right? The effective networking, it's like a comprehensive package, that's what you have to think about it. So it starts with that handshake, right? It starts when you're meeting someone, that handshake, eye contact, smile, that package that I talk about all the time, right? So you're making the handshake. Oh, sorry. All right, okay, I'm sorry. You're right. So you're making a handshake, right? Your eye contact is there, the smile is there. And if she has a name badge, I'm gonna say it, right? And I'm gonna be like, oh, Lauren, it's nice to meet you. And I wanna say her name immediately because that's gonna help me remember her name, right? Lauren, it's nice to meet you, and that's the beginning of it. That's easy to do, all right? So right now, go to the person next to you. Don't shake her hand, find someone else, okay? And introduce yourself. Did you say the person's name?
Yes.
Let's try again. Okay? So if you did not say the person's name and the person did not say your name, right? Because that other person has to remember your name too, right? Yeah. So, all right, it can look like this, right? Oh, hi, Elizabeth, it's nice to meet you. I'm Marta. And then she would say,
Nice to meet you, Marta. My name is Elizabeth.
okay. All right, you see that? All right? So she repeated my name. She didn't necessarily need to repeat her name, but she repeated my name. So that's going to help her remember it. Can you all try that again for me?
Yeah.
So you have to have this part down, right? Because this is at the beginning. You have to have this, you can't be shy about this part. You gotta know how to do this, all right? So, and I know my daughter, she gets upset with me sometimes because when I introduce her to someone, I'm like, okay, what are you gonna do? Make eye contact. Yeah. Yeah. It's like make eye contact, smile. Okay, did you say your name loud? Project your voice, right? Because you want to be heard. So I'm trying to teach her when she's younger, right? When you're having a conversation, you have to be willing to listen actively, right? So actively listening is like, oh, and you're not talking the whole time. You're not just thinking about the next thing that you want to say. And some people have this kind of social faux pas because they're not comfortable with silence, right? So if it's silent, they just keep talking. And you're like, okay, are you gonna stop so I can say something too? But so don't be that person who just incessantly talks, right? You're listening, you're engaging, you're making the eye contact the whole time, right? So when you're going out to network, right? And it was kind of funny because when I started this, I was like, networking, 3 steps, 1, 2, 3. And then I was like, no, now there's a 4. Oh, but wait, and there's a 5, right? So I want you to know that I can I can probably get up to 10 steps, but I'm gonna try to compact it. You have to assess yourself, you have to know what you're about, right? What are your goals? You have to determine the purpose of your approach. So when I go into certain meetings, right? So if I go into a Memphis Restaurant Association meeting, all right, I need to have done, like, what am I trying to get out of this meeting? Like, who do I need to follow up with? I'm looking at the list of members. I'm going in with a game plan, right? I have to go in with a game plan, or else it's a waste of my time. I'm walking away with nothing. That should be your approach when you go to a career fair too. Like, you look at all the names of the career fair participants. All right, I gotta hit this booth, this booth, this booth. Okay, I'm gonna warm up first by going to a booth that I don't care about. Just because I'm a little nervous, right? That's a trick. So I'll start with people that, you know, I'm just loosening up with. I'm getting warmed up and ready, right? So use that trick. So you determine your purpose, you identify your sources, you prepare this elevator speech, pitch, brand statement, whatever you want to call it. And always keep in mind that this pitch is short. I mean, if you're getting to 30 seconds, it's way too long. Because that just means that you're talking and talking and talking and talking, and you're giving it all away, and you're not engaging in conversation. So I really go for like 10 to 15 seconds, not the 30, right? And then the final step is the key in following up. So you're going out there, you're networking, but if you didn't afterwards send them a thank you email like, oh, it was a pleasure meeting you, or that LinkedIn connection and write that little note on LinkedIn, then you're wasting your time. You really have to stick this landing. You have to get to the follow-up.